Oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is what it is. This is what it is.
I, I'm too out of it for this. My kids do this stuff. I couldn't.
Yep.
This is
Well,
way crazy. And these people are actually like on live.
they are live watching us right now. Yeah, they are watching us right now, and we can read their comments.
Tell you about your dog competition. That's crazy. So they're actually doing this like right now.
Right now, this is 100% live.
Oh, crazy. And so they're listening to me and I'm talking and I'm reading what they're saying.
Yes, exactly.
Love you from New Jersey. Oh, hi. That's kind of cool. Okay, let's go.
So this is cool.
So if I don't listen to you and I want to read all this stuff, then don't get jealous.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Let me see if I can turn up the volume so I can hear you full speed. Okay, cool. So
go ahead.
I'd say long time no see, except I saw you last week, so I can't say that.
Right, exactly.
So, how long have we known each other at this point?
30, I'm going to say guess. I'm just going to guess 32 years?
32 years, yeah. 32 years.
Yes.
32 years, yeah. I actually was pulling some stuff out of my office to bring home, and I actually had the photo from 1989 that your dad and you saw personalized to me. Like the first time I met you both together. So
right, exactly.
That was cool. And I said, you know something, I need that for this room. So I took it out of my office and put it in this room today.
Well, I mean, we're friends. We've been friends for so long. We're like family. It's a little bit different.
Yep.
It's been a lot of years, but been fun.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
But what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about memorabilia, a little bit about baseball, to set this up, people have got to realize I've been doing this my entire life. So I've been doing this my entire life, and it's something I do instinctively. And I've met, a ton of athletes. I mean, in the 90s, everybody had a contract with Scoreboard. Everybody had a contract.
Oh,
you,
yeah, sure.
Ryan, Ripken, Griffey, Willie, Hank, Mickey, right. Ted, Joe DiMaggio, everybody.
Yeah. I think we all probably did the show too as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the game used collecting and the historic events really didn't happen until like the 2000s. People like really starting thinking, okay, this is going to be valuable. This isn't something I want to put away. You were ahead of your time. I mean, I don't know. I mean, look, knowing you, this is the answer, that you knew how great you were and you knew how great you were going to be. So you started saving things that were important, even your first year with Pittsburgh.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'll tell everybody, can I tell everybody about a scene the night you broke the record?
Yeah, I mean, say whatever you want. It's open book,
sure,
bro.
Sure, okay. So I was there, and I was in the clubhouse before the game, and Barry had his couple lockers. He had multiple lockers.
Okay, I didn't have a couple lockers. We all had a couple lockers.
Oh, okay.
All of us had couple lockers.
There you go. Okay.
My locker just happened to be next to the toilet.
Okay.
So I was on the corner by the bathroom.
Okay.
I had one locker. My other locker was for my son, because all of our sons at that time were bat boys. Yep. So we all had two lockers at that time.
Yep.
And then there was a third one next to me, and and then it was a storage. Storage where Murph had all the storage stuff. So I had a big area because of the storage that was next to my lockers.
Yep.
But my other locker was always my son. I only used one locker for myself.
Okay. So you, before the game, amazingly, you're going up, there's 3 games left. It's about 2 weeks after 9/11. There's 3 games left in the season. You're at 70 home runs. And
so 2001.
2001. 2001. Go back to
Yeah,
2001.
you got to remind me because my brain has to go back there.
both gonna call them senior moments somehow. You know?
Exactly.
Soon for you and I. But the funny thing is, I wish I had a picture of me in like 1989, 1988, 1990, because when you met me, I was kind of chubby, a little bit, and wore these gigantic glasses. And then I slimmed down, I lost the glasses. But now, like you, if I want to read something, I got to put something on.
For sure. Yeah, I have to. I can read this now, but it's kind of blurry.
So basically, Barry took out a bat, the bat he used to hit his 70th home run in Houston, which I guess was 2 days before. I think it was, there was a day off, and it was tagged. He wrote something on it, ziplocked it, put it away. So what Barry did with his historic moments is he, before MLB authentication, before any of this stuff, he would legitimately tag it, take it out of play, write on it so he knew exactly what it was, and seal it up. So that there was none of this stuff, oh, this could have been this could have been that, or where did, you know, I'm reading this story about Frank Robinson's 500th home run bat, and, you know, a photographer got it, and this person got it. You know, every key event, whether it's Barry's 500th home run, 600th home run, 60th home run from 2001, 700th home run, 660 tying Willie Mays, all these key events he saved and set aside, basically for his, you know, for his family. I mean, it's just incredible.
Well, my dad was the one who told me to do it. I was going toward my 500th home run. I was right before we were in Milwaukee, so that's the season started during at that time. When my father sat there and said, you know, before the world grabs it all, you want to keep it yourself, and you know, look and have something to look back on. It wasn't. I didn't really have any idea where I was going to go. It was just something to look back on, and I was like, no, that makes sense because, you know, my dad had his trophies and, you know, I saw some of his stuff and he goes, wow, you know, I remember my dad going, God, I can't remember where my glove is, or I couldn't remember, you know, what happened to that stuff. And so what I did was, you know, I actually, you know, you get so many uniforms and you get so many bats throughout the year. Every player gets so many. And all I did was I just purchased all my stuff. And so I purchased all my stuff, so I owned it. I didn't want, you know, I was, you know, they could do whatever they want with your uniform. So it was always like, if I wore it that game, they could put a different one in there and I could think it's the same one and it wasn't it. So I put certain little tags on it a little bit, and most of them I just took with me. So as soon as the game was over, I just packed it all up, I marked the date on it. I didn't, you know, I didn't sign them or anything because I knew I was keeping them. So I put the number home run on it, I put the date on it. I took it home with me, and I've been doing that ever since. I have like everything. You also did something that the hobby did not know it until years later, but you actually did something that protected your game used jerseys so that you would know that this is a jersey that I wore in a game. So if somebody years later had a jersey, we'd be able to say, you know, starting after I think it was in the 2000 season. 2000.
Yeah, 2000, that people would know. Explain what you did for the jerseys that you actually would wear on the field.
Well, what do you mean by what did I do? I took them, kept them.
No, the patches.
Oh, I put little patches on the bottom of the, you know, like on the bottom of my shirt. And so I had Murphy stitching all the patches, or I took jerseys and got them stitched in. And then every single one of my jerseys have a stitch. So I know that that was all the jerseys that I purchased, that they were mine. And so they, you know, they didn't take the patches off. But even if they wouldn't be able to anyway, because every event that I did something, I made sure I took that uniform and everything and marked it and took it home. So I didn't have to worry about if they unstitched it or put it on another jersey or another uniform or pants or whatever. I actually took all those items home with me. So any landmark or thing that I've done throughout the year, those actually I took home with me.
Okay.
You know, sometimes I'd have a bat that I hit one home run in, I switch to a new bat, and I hit another home run. You know, I immediately marked those, put them in my locker so that, you know, I knew they wouldn't disappear because they were already marked with my home run number and the date, so that couldn't be switched out for any reason. And also, you know, the ones that I kept the bat and I hit more than one home runs, I have some of those that I actually, you know, hit the, like if I hit 700, 701 or whatever, 6 something or 5 something or whatever I have those bats too as well.
I know this. I know this. What was your, if you had to pick the home run that meant the most to you throughout your career, from 1 through 762, what home run would it be?
If I could go back to the, well, there'd be a couple of them. My most important one would always be my first one. That was in Atlanta.
Okay.
So if I could ever get, if I ever had that ball, which I don't, that ball, well, your very first home run of your major league career, that would be huge. The other ones that I, you know, I do have the uniforms in the bat, would be tying my godfather, Willie.
I knew that was coming.
It would always be, anything with Willie Mays is always going to be tied to me. And like I said, there's a few, you know. Babe Ruth. I mean, tying Babe Ruth. I mean, what's the, you know, that's huge. Babe Ruth, you know, then passing Hank Aaron or tying Hank Aaron. You know, there's pinnacles of moments, you know, that it's like, wow, that was special. No, that one's really special. No, that one's really special. That one's really special. So, you know, at the end of the day, it would probably be the most one I'd love the most would just be my very first home run, because it just signifies that I made it. You know, it's kind of like going through Little League and high school, college. I got drafted, and then I finally made it, and I did something that I achieved as a little boy, right? And so if that would have been the end of my career, I could always sit there and say, I made it. You know, I accomplished something.
You hit a home run in the big leagues.
Yeah, that would be the biggest thing. Like, you know, I did something that my dad and my godfather did, and cousins, stuff like that did. So that would be huge.
What was I going to ask you? So, if you could, speaking of memorabilia, you know,
I got some friends on here. This is cool.
Yeah,
they're saying I'm watching you live. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I didn't even know this stuff. This is great.
I'm glad I got you to do this. If I know you appreciate memorabilia, because when I had Ruth's bat from 1927, you you put on the white gloves before you held it. I didn't ask you to; you just put them on.
It's kind of like an honor thing, right? You know, it's an honor to be able to touch something that, you know, I worked so hard to be in my career, and then this bat was, you know, used by one of the greatest baseball players. So it's like, you know, you give the white gloves, and you know, you appreciate that. So that's the only reason why I did it.
And speaking of memorabilia, let's say you had that time machine that you had to go with get your home run ball, first home run ball. If you can go back in baseball history and grab any piece of memorabilia, you know, that you would want to own, and you would want to say, I own this, what would that be?
The most memorabilia that I would ever want in my entire lifetime?
Yes.
That's an easy question.
Okay.
Would be Jackie Robinson's, anything Jackie Robinson, first major league, anything. His jersey. Only reason African-American. Represents us as black ball players. First across. So anything. Jackie Robinson's jersey would be like the ultimate high. That would be something I'd be bragging like down the street with, moonwalking like Michael Jackson.
April 5th. So the time machine has to go back to April 15th, 1947, and there we go.
Yeah, that would be huge.
I would say, tell you that if you had that uniform, you not only pick something historic and, you know, to me, of the most important player ever to play the game of baseball. And, you know, the kids coming out of school, they know Jackie Robinson. I mean, he's taught in school. Like my son, you know, he asked who the three greatest players. I asked who the three greatest players of all time. He goes, Barry Bonds, and you know he says that, Barry Bonds, Ruth, and Jackie Robinson.
Oh, that's
And obviously, you and Babe have all the numbers, but Jackie has the history and the historical significance. But I would say that would probably be the most valuable uniform of all time, even more than like Babe Ruth's uniform when he hit 60 home runs, because what it means to, to America.
Just to the game of baseball, the transition of the game of baseball. I mean,
Yep.
not being able to play because of the color of your skin, not something to be very proud about. And then the first person of his stature, UCLA had educated African American represent is nice. But like I said, Willie Mays would always be the one too. But his first uniform, coming across from the Negro League as well, would be huge for me. I mean, would probably bring great tears to my eyes because that's my godfather for sure.
Exactly. Willie was. First time I met Willie was in my office again, probably '89. Shook my hand. Now, this is Willie in 1989. He retired in '73, so he'd been retired for 16 years. Probably 58 years old. And I literally thought my hand was going to break. He had the strongest grip and the strongest wrists in the world. I mean, absolutely in the world. And
he has some really big forearms.
Yes.
But that's how Willie always did people. Willie always wanted to shake your hand. And he could tell if you were a ball player by shaking your hand. He's like, boy, you ain't got that grip. You need that grip. And I always worked on my forearms throughout my career because Willie, and that's what my dad always said, your forearms are, have to be really, really strong to throw that bat. So Willie would always do that, and his thumb was always like a little bit bent like that, and he would grab you, and then it would just come from unbent and then hook you. And you couldn't let it go. If he grabbed your hand, he had that grip. So
and it was great. Dealing with Willie was like amazing from my father, because he grew up in New York, and he was like Willie's age. So maybe about a couple of years younger than Willie. And my dad was born in '32. He would have been 90 next year. So it's like it was like he used to tell me the stories when I was a kid growing up about Willie Mays and about the New York Giants, and he hated the Dodgers. He hated the Yankees. He was only a Giant fan, and he didn't have a lot of memorabilia. His mom threw out all his baseball cards, but he saved one item. His uncle was commissioner of buildings in New York and went to the Polo Grounds. So of course they all knew him because they don't want him to shut down their building and say people can't come in. So he had a team signed ball from the 1954 Giants when they won the World Series with Willie Mays, and that's something he handed down to me, and that's something I'll hand down to Paul with a lot of cards and a lot of memorabilia when I know that he is older and can take care of it. And that's what's great about this. It's baseball more than any other sport to me is fathers and sons.
It was always like that for me.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, I mean, people have always asked me, about my godfather, Willie, a lot. And I always, ever since I was 5 years old, I was in awe over Willie Mays. And Willie, the funny part about it is Willie's locker was right next to the bathroom shower too as well, candlestick. So that's my locker, and to his locker at the new stadium was kind of like an awesome thing for me. But I used to climb on top of the locker and sit on top of Willie's locker, because we used to me and all the kids used to go and look over that. And I used to sneak his glove out of his locker, and I was left-handed, but I always put his glove on the opposite hand. Always try and throw, because I always wanted to be like Willie. I throw left-handed, but I wanted to wear his glove. And sometimes I'd cry. My dad's like, don't be a baby, his glove. I want Willie's glove. And I'd go out there and and then sometimes I'd hear Willie there, Bobby, that boy got my glove. Where's my glove? I'm like out on the baseball field playing around. My dad's like, his glove. But my dad has one of Willie's gloves, which is My dad passed away, obviously, but my mom, I think my mom still has it. And, that McGregor, I think it was McGregor, yeah, the McGregor glove that Willie has, we still have that. And so kind of cherish that. But, and also another thing about Willie, people always ask me too, is like, as your godfather, what have you got? Was it, I don't have anything of Willie's.
Yep.
I have a couple of pictures that we've done together, things like that. I let everyone know. The greatest gift that Willie could have ever given me was being my godfather. Yep. I never wanted anything from Willie, or do I ever want anything from Willie? All I want is to be around him.
Yep.
And that's all I've ever wanted in my whole entire life. I just went to his house the other day to visit him, to say hello and things like that. And if you see what Willie has, you would just be blown away with his life and the people he's met and the pictures that you can see on the walls and everything. And, everyone's like, wow, do you even have the picture of it? I said, I don't have anything. I love him for who he is. I don't want anything from him except his love. So I think about it sometimes. I said, maybe he will air something to me, it passes away one day, but I don't know. I don't want anything from Willie except his love. I never have, and it's never been anything I was interested in.
So what did you do? Did you ride today?
I rode my trainer because it's pouring rain out here right now. So I put on my bike trainer today. So I do that every day. I do my tonal gym, which I think is the greatest home gym product on the market. So anyone out there who, I'm looking at all these names that are giving little hearts and saying ho, check into tonal. Awesome. And I ride a bike. I ride it almost every. And I now, because of some friends of mine that got me into, COVID technically got me into it. But a friend of mine, Daniel I got to give him a shout out because he's the one who got me into overlanding and camping. So Daniel from 395 Junkie, I know he could be on this stuff. I don't know. My other buddy, Michael, Fly Fisherman, I think it's 530. I can't remember. I'm not really good at all this social media stuff, but I went, I got into overlanding and camping. So I have a Defender jacked up with 35s on there, doing off-road driving and going to explore. And it's been fun. I've had a great time in it. But me, I'm a gym freak. All I do, I try to explain to people, I love training, just working out all the time. That's my love. It's a passion I've always had. Sometimes, I'm very introverted, very loner personage, which I don't socialize that much or often. I love training. So if there's people out there that want to go ride a bike, you can meet me down the bottom of my hill and I'll ride with anyone, anytime. I'll train with anyone, anytime. I tell my buddies always tell my friends of theirs, they said, what's Barry's like? They said, Barry lives in a gym. Barry would rather be in a gym than have friends. That's what he does. He's just in the gym or he's riding his bike and then he rests to do it again tomorrow. So
Speaking about tonal, the last time before last week I saw you in person was probably 4 months before COVID. It was the fall of 2019 in New Jersey at my house.
Right.
And you're going through my gym and you told me about this product and you said, you need to get this product. Okay. I should have done two things. One is I should have listened to you. And two is I should have invested in the company.
What's really weird because, and I explained, see, I started back when Bowflex first came out. So I was using a Bowflex gym in my garage because I liked the band thing for just a quick pump and keep going. And I could pack it and travel with it because I packed it with the team and I traveled with it. And I like it where you can just bend certain things down and you can work out and because back when I was playing, these gyms don't look like these gyms now. Some have barely weights in there. Some have barely bikes in there. So I traveled with my own home gym at that time, and that at that time was Bowflex.
Yeah.
So when I came across tonal, it was like my Bowflex came back to life, but very educated. You know, really, really just advanced. And it gave me everything I wanted, because also COVID, no one was going to a gym anymore at the time too. And I was like, I'm spending all this money to be a member at a gym, and my gym, everything I ever want could be in my house with the squats, any movement I can do on here. And the technology is so advanced, and that I was like, I'm sold. And now, you know, they're also having live things. It's great. I mean, I love to work out. So anyone who wants to work out with me, we're on.
You probably never read your Instagram DMs or know where to find them, but it's a good thing, because I imagine tomorrow you would wake up with 1,000 of them saying, "Hey, I'll be at your house tomorrow to work out."
Well, I'm learning it a little bit because of my friends that, you know, now that I go out overlanding a little bit. And they message me through there, and I always tell them, I don't talk through social media, guys. You have my number, text me. But I'm learning a little bit by, you know, I didn't know that all those people you're supposed to respond. My kids do my social media. I mean, my daughter do all that. I look at it because I think it's interesting, it's cool, but I don't want to get consumed on my phone and looking at you know, all this stuff. So I'm learning. I posted a couple of things. I'm learning.
Okay, my daughter Laura Goldin is saying, "Why you're ignoring me?" Hello, Laura. Good to see you.
Oh, that's cool.
Typing. She goes, she's in Syracuse right now typing. So let me.
So you see the same thing I see, but on your end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's all on your head. See, I'm up top. Whoever the host is up top. Whoever below is the bottom, and then, you know, afterwards, this will be on my page, so when people go to see it, it won't have all these words across the screen. As I said, I can turn them off, but it looks like you're having fun reading them. So
I know, because it's like, love you, Barry. I'm like, oh, I want to say, oh, cool, love you too. Or, you know, so yeah.
Yep. What was I ignoring, Laura? Okay.
Oh, Laura sat there and said, that's what you ignore. No, we're not ignoring you.
We're not ignoring you, Laura.
I see it. Yeah, I saw
that. Laura wants to know your dog's name.
My dog's name is Apollo, and my other dog, who will be at the Westminster in January, February, in New York, is named Rocky. Rocky and Apollo. Apollo's my black miniature schnauzer, and Rocky's my salt and pepper one. So
cool.
After a Rocky show, Sylvester Stallone.
I know. we knew you were a dog person. You came in and you had Chloe, who is our multi-poo, on you the entire time.
I love it. Oh, hold up. Don't mean to cut you off. The Overland Expo West was awesome. Okay. And I'm going again next year, so guys, look out for me for the Overland Expo West, because I will be there next year.
Cool. Very nice. Very nice. But most people ignore this stuff. You're great. You're great.
Yeah, you're going to get, I'm not even going to talk to you. I'm just going to talk to everyone. If this thing, well, I don't read that well, so it goes too fast. But the ones that I can, I'm going to be like, Kenny, let me talk to you. This is kind of fun. I would never thought this would be kind of cool.
Cool. I'm glad. I'm glad. So let me ask you a little bit about, because I had some of these questions. I don't know. Hey, John Tobby, if you're here, raise your hand, wave. He authenticates bats for PSA DNA. I think I've probably put you on the phone with him before. He wanted to know when and why you switched from Louisville to Sambat.
The story behind that, Joe Carter, the very first one who ever introduced me to a Maplewood bat. That was toward the end of his career. I met Sam in, I believe it was 1998 or 99. Not exactly sure. Sam just had his overalls on. And he came out with the Sam bats, and I was getting ready to hit batting practice at that time. He said, would you like to try it? Anything. And he goes, Maplewood, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I picked it up and I hit some balls out of the ballpark. And the only thing I noticed was that I could compress Ashwood. When I hit with Ashwood, I can compress it in a way to where I can I can really dent it, or I can split it. And I can angle the bat a certain way to split it to see if it was good or not, or if it was too dry. When I had Sam bat at the time in 99, I'm going to say 99 because I can't remember if it's 98 or 99, I couldn't compress that.
Yep.
And the ball went just as well. No difference in my Ashwood bat to anything. My Ashwood bat felt a little bit lighter, but that bat was fine because I didn't mind swinging a heavier bat anyway.
Yep.
That's what impressed me. Then I started talking to Sam, and I said, you know, how about if you just, I'll make me a few of those. Well, I'll put them through the test. And he got them to me right away, like within like a week or something. I can't even remember, but it was really fast. And so to give you guys how our relationship even continued on, I loved it. So I said, Sam, this is great. You know, what's your company, this and that? And he goes, I make these bats out of my garage, really. And so I said, what? And he goes, yeah. So he said, why don't you come out? So I came out to Saskatchewan, Canada.
Yeah.
Where
Ottawa.
Well, Ottawa, yeah, that's it. Saskatchewan is where I went hunting. That was it.
Yeah.
Ottawa. And so
the coldest winter the coldest I have ever been in my entire life is when I went to visit him in 1 year. It was February in Ottawa. I was like, oh my God, what did I just open the door of the hotel? Like, oh my God, what just happened? But go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so
you probably saw him for the first time in summer.
I know it was cold. Because remember, I was playing baseball during the summer.
That's right.
I couldn't see him till the off season.
Yep.
And so I went to his house. Picked me up at the airport, went to his house. I saw the back of his house with his garage. He had the little mill thing because Sam was just a carpenter. You know, he would just make tables and things like that.
Yep.
And he didn't. So I said, hey, you know what? Let's get into this and let's do it because I really like it. So I actually helped Sam start the whole company. I financed it. I did, helped a lot with Sam in the company, and to buy the machines and to start putting everything together. And so I actually designed my own bat because I put the big barrel on the bat on the handle part that everyone sees how it flares out.
Yeah, correct.
Because when Eric Davis, he was the first one who gave me, I believe it was H238. I had S329, and I liked them both. So what I did was I combinated my bats between the two. I love the handle of I think it was S29. I love the barrel of the H238, but they didn't have them both at the same. So I went to Sam's, and because of the weight of the Sam bat, and at that time we were at the beginning of doing this process, it was a moisture thing, right? How do we get the moisture right within the density of the wood? So at that time we were first doing it before Sam got on and got the newer machines where we could really balance it for me. I balanced the bat because I realized that if I can't balance my bat within my hand, within my fingers, in the center point of that bat, and that bat fell one way or the other and it didn't balance, then I'm top heavy to one thing. So I was a little bit top heavy on this end, so I counterbalanced that in weight in the handle to bring the bat this way. And we went through a lot of them to get it because I never want any one of my hands to work harder than the other. It just had to be balanced, and my top hand was really important. And I needed to fire that barrel through the way my swing worked for me. It doesn't work for everyone, but it worked for me. And so I went there with Sam. That's how our relationship started. We still have a great relationship to this day. And I'm the one who, I guess you can say, who made maple wood bats famous because no one ever used maple wood. Because Louisville didn't do it. And I used to tell Sam the whole time, we need to patent this out. This is, no one's doing this, and this is great. And Sam's going, how do you patent out wood? I mean, I don't, what are we going to do? It's maple. I said, how about the design? Well, bats use a design. Well, no one can do with maple. But, Sam didn't have the money to do all this stuff. And, I didn't really truly understand the whole complete bat industry. And wasn't going to take such a huge risk at that time. Plus I was playing, I don't have time. And so when he was sitting there saying, you know, hey, there would be this, I said, you know what? Hey, let's just do what we do, and maybe people will appreciate it because we're the first.
Yep.
And it will, you know, help the company do well. And so we were the first, and I was the first to really, no company was doing Maplewood. Now they all do it, but none of them. Louisville wasn't doing it. None of them were doing it at that time. And so, yeah, I invented the Maplewood bat in Major League Baseball, but Tony Gwynn invented the cross trainer shoe. And I always have wanted the public to know this. Tony Gwynn is one of my idols because Tony Gwynn has taught me a lot about hitting. And so Tony Gwynn had bad feet because back when we played baseball, you had just a plastic hard or metal bottom cleats, and every time we were in St. Louis or somewhere where it's 120 degrees on the thing, your feet are burning and on fire, and you got to put plastic bags in your shoes so you don't burn your feet, you know. I mean, for real, or we're sticking our feet in the buckets and stuff to cool down our spike because the spikes would burn right through your shoe. So Tony Gwynn got with a shoemaker in San Diego. He took a regular cross trainer basketball shoe and he cut perfectly circles or around the cleat of our regular shoe. So took off the hard plastic and just cut the plastic out, the front and the back, inserted it into a cross trainer shoe. Okay, just a regular basketball cross trainer shoe, and had a shoemaker mold that in there. So we had two pieces in the shoe. So you had it in the back of the rubber and then just the front, because you didn't really need much more cleat than that, right? So we all, once Tony Gwynn let us know, we all were sending our shoes to the shoemaker. Still don't even know who that guy was. Send the shoe down to the shoemaker who would actually put tear up our old shoe buttons and insert them into the rubber of a regular cross trainer shoe. That's how baseball cross trainers with the better soles and everything were invented. Tony Gwynn actually made that possible, and then Nike and the other companies made it famous and made all the money. We didn't make anything. We just thought, but it was an awesome thing that Tony Gwynn did because he changed everything with our shoes the way that went down. So Tony Gwynn was the one who did that.
Yeah,
so the world knows.
Amazing player, amazing person.
But
I don't think he ever got credit for that before.
Never. No one even knew it, you know, because, you know, what are we going to do? Start our own shoe company? You know, Nike was huge, Adidas, you know, all the companies were huge. So, you know, how are you going to present that? So you know, someone must have got a hold of it, and then, you know, Nike ran with it and made it famous. And
Did he have a Nike contract?
I don't know what Tony. I didn't know what contract he had at that time. We didn't. It wasn't a matter of a contract. All the shoe companies at that time were pretty much equal, the same. All of our feet were still hurting, so it didn't really matter. So when we saw Tony Gwynn, what he was doing, we all jumped on board to do that, and then that's how the cross trainer soles were made for baseball. I think Nike was the one who took it and ran with it and made it huge, but Nike's huge, so that's all.
I'm getting a lot of questions about your bat, so let me show this. So this is your bat. Yeah. This is one you gave me.
Yeah, there you go. I got it.
So this one was, I guess, manufactured August 2nd. So this is August 2nd, 2001. Right. People are asking how you came up with the tape. What was your style of tape? Did you tape it yourself? Was it somebody in the clubhouse that taped it for you?
I taped all my stuff. I did my own stuff. The tape was because I played in San Francisco and it's cold. And so when you would put the stickum on your bat, it was always so hard. We used to have to melt it down, a candlestick. So we would put a lighter and melt it down, and then we would actually utilize it. Okay. So the tape was just a better sticky thing. I wanted to always feel the wood of my bat. I didn't want anything too thick on my bat. So I started to just tape it like one big circle. I think that's how it started at first. And then just sat in my locker, had time, got creative, and then I started crisscrossing it. And then it would make it easier with the flare part of my bat in the cold better. But, you know, I invented a lot of things that I could tell you, but I think I would have to go into my office real quick and get it, because no one's ever done that either. Now, no, the companies do it now. But I was the first one to ever do it, and no one even knows that I ever did it. Because I never told him. Maybe Franklin told him, but I got a minute to run in there and see if
go ahead.
Let me run.
Go ahead. This is whatever he's going to do is news to me. People want to see the bat. So this is a bat he gave me in 2001, which turned out to, of course, be a pretty good bat and a pretty good year.
Yeah. So this is cool because people are hearing this from me finally for the first time, and I've never.
Oh, and by the way, Carlos Baerga's joining us right now. He just says hello.
Oh, hey, Carlos, what's up, bud? I haven't. I've never. You know, people always. You know, you only hear what the media says because I don't ever talk to the press. So, you know, the press just makes up whatever they want to make up, which is great. I don't care. God bless them. But so in San Francisco, Franklin batting gloves. These are mine.
Yep.
And so, you know, playing in that cold weather on a consistent basis, I came up with another idea. I take my watch off. And so I don't know if anyone does this anymore, I don't know if anyone does it, period. And if they do, they never said Barry Bonds was the one who influenced it, because no other company's done this except me. And I was trying to get a guy to patent this out, see if I could create it. But now that I show people, I'm just going to finally, for the first time, show the world what they can do with their kids or baseball players can utilize. So these are my batting gloves. I don't know if, okay, I'll go back here, right? That's better. So right here is better. So these are my batting gloves. All right. So swinging its candlestick, everyone's like, how do you guys deal with the cold? And, you know, how do you do it? And I said, cold never bothers me, but I never told anyone why, because I always like to be a little bit, you know, mischief. And so what I did, so for people who ever want to do this with their kids, your gloves, so there's hot spots on your hands. And a lot of times with kids, or when I was playing, the ball off the end of the bat or stinging your hand, you're always like, oh God. And then that next swing, you want no part of it. You're like, I'm done. You know, your hand is on fire. I'm done. Even as professional athletes, we all feel that same thing, right? And then you're praying the guy throws a ball so the numbness out of your hand stops. Okay. So what I did is I created these pads in my gloves. So all the hot spots. So all of them are in certain areas only. Right? So you see it right here, certain areas only, certain areas only, certain areas. So what I did was I used, I had Franklin Company, which I love because I have a lifetime contract with them. I use, I would use 2 pairs of batting gloves and cut these up, and I would put pads inside the actual stitching and have these stitched on with pads. And then this is a thumb pad. So you know the guys that wear the little thumb pads, I didn't hit with those thumb pads on because I want to grab my bat and feel it. So what's in here is like the same kind of material that you would use for, it could be like a sponge or something, anything that's really thin that can go through. So this one's a little bit thicker for my thumb. So if I ever got jammed, I never felt it. And then anywhere I felt that I have a hot spot, so what I did was I hit the ball wrong, or I jammed myself, and whichever was ding, that was the spot. So these 2 fingers were always the big spot in cold weathers, because I grab my bat. This is my hand, right? I'll use these, but this is my locking. So you notice this top hand is because I like my top hand.
Yep.
This is going to be more padded because this one's going to get the worst of it. This one isn't so bad. It's my bottom hand. It's my power, strength to it. This is my guide hand, power hand, but both together dominating. So this one has a thumb. And so I invented this gloves. And I was trying to do a company out of it, but never worked out. So anyone who wants to do this, you can get 2 sets of the same kind of gloves. You can cut the fingers. So you cut the fingers out. You can take the stitching out of the same leather, put something in between it, stitch it back on, and you have pads and you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, how's that?
Amazing.
How
Amazing.
long or was it short? I'm having fun on this thing. I really am.
It wasn't a minute. It was like 20 seconds. So let me ask you a couple baseball questions. So let me start with this one you might not like. You can tell me I don't want to answer. What was more aggravating? Because they were both very aggravating for me personally. Very aggravating for me personally. I think 91 losing the MVP vote to Pendleton, or 2000 losing the MVP vote to Jeff Kent.
I didn't really care about either one of them.
Okay, really? Okay.
No, I didn't care about.
I was hurt.
The Atlanta Braves. It's tough in that scenario, right? I've already won it in 90. Your chances of doing it twice in a row.
Yep.
And then Terry Pendleton got traded over there and had a great year. TP always tells me it's my MVP. He knows who really won that MVP.
Okay, exactly.
And so when we talk privately, TP says, I have your MVP. Because he knows statistically, number-wise, and what I did, I beat him. Okay, but to me, I told TP, I don't like giving cred. It doesn't really bother me none. What you did for Atlanta when you came over, and it sparked them even more. You guys MVP in Atlanta was winning all at that time too. So we both were winning. So whoopee-doo, right? Jeff Kent had a great year.
Yes, he did.
Was it better than mine? No, but it was great. But it was great. So you're in this thing. But I'll tell you, the year that really, I think that really stopped me, or the one I would have been the most happiest with, was in 1994 when we had the strike. Because that year, 1994, I might have done 50-50. Because me, Bagwell, and Matt Williams were on a home run tear. I think Bagwell had like 42 or 43 or 41, and Matt had like 40 before the strike. I had like 39 or 30 something. I don't think it was 39, but whatever it is. But I had 29 stolen bases already. Like 2 or 3 months to play. And that was like the best combination year that I was putting together as far as being that 5-tool player that I really took pride in. And that was a year that I felt I was going to get 50-50 that year. Because I was on a stolen base rampage. I was on a home run tear because Matt was killing it and Bagwell was killing it. But I was right behind him. And I was like, I don't care if they get that home run, but I want that 50-50. And that was what I was going for. And then we hit the strike and I came up short. But the year I think would have been, if I did win that MVP for all around, that would have been the one. But I was glad that Jeff and Bagwell, I think Bagwell won it that year, was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I was very aggravated in '94 too. Trust me, I was making baseball cards.
Yeah, exactly. But people got to understand something. You win one MVP, that's huge. I have 7. And believe me, I cherish all 7 of them. But when you win one, you're not in competition of how many you win in theory. I didn't even know that I was part of a team that got 3 at that time. I wasn't paying attention. I think I won 1. I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I got 1. It didn't matter. My dad didn't have any. And then I found out Willie had 2, and I was like, well, I want to try to get another one. But people understand, I always had my dad and Willie. So I've always had Willie, who was like the super sweet, lovable godfather. Then I had my dad, which was like, you ain't done enough yet. You know what I mean? So I had to I had that devil and angel on me all the time. So like, if I hit 2 home runs in a game, I could go like, hey, Dad, man, I hit 2 home runs today. He said, you swung the bat, right? I'm like, yeah. Okay, do it again tomorrow. Willie be like, that's great. I love you. Da, 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 da. So if I needed someone to say, I love you, and da, 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 that's great. I'd just go to Willie. If I wanted that motivation to try to shut my dad up, and I'm like, I'm going to prove to you I'm going to do it again, I went to my dad. So I went to my dad more often because he was my biggest motivator. Like my dad was always, it always seemed like, he was so hard on me, but, I chased that. It's hard to explain, but I chased that. I chased that, my dad's approval. I was chasing that all the time. And, like I said in my speech when I got my uniform retired, the time when I got emotional, I was like, why were you so hard on me? And when I was laying with my dad before he passed away, and my dad said, as long as you were always chasing that thing, I knew you were always going to be good at, just you were going to keep going. I didn't understand it at the time, but sitting down to bed, at the time I was sitting down with him, I was like, it's kind of shitty to do though, man, because you just didn't like me. But, so it worked for me. It doesn't work for all kids, right? The generation's a little bit more sensitive than my generation, but so you got to do things a little bit different nowadays than me. I love that. You tell me I can't do it, I'll do it. Trust me.
Exactly. Just like Michael Jordan in basketball, you in baseball. I mean, all you gotta do is tell him he's not going to do something, and that motivated him. So hit some questions people are asking. Give me at least 3 players, because you've got your dad and you've got Willie. So I want to say at least 3 players. When you were learning how to play, and that you were say, okay, fine, I want to be able to play like him, or I want to tailor my game after who you looked up to, before you became a pro.
Kenny, you're going to be shocked. I admired my godfather. I was in awe of him, but I didn't want to be him. I didn't even want to be my father.
Okay.
I want to just go ride my skateboard with my friends, to be honest with you. I didn't want to do any of this stuff. But baseball came easy to me as a kid. My mom took me down to play farm league when I was 4.5, 5. My first ball I ever hit was a home run, and I told my mom I loved it. I wanted to play with them. It wasn't the fact that I admired them and I was emulating players. I wanted to play with them. I thought that, I'm going to be good. I'm going to be just like my daddy. I'm going to be just like Willie. And me and my brothers played strikeout all the time. I was every player in baseball. And when you come up to hit, I was Tito Fuentes, Chris Spires, Willie Mays, Bobby Bonds, Willie McCutcheon. I was every Giant player. But when you come up to hit, so if I got a man on base, it was, oh, okay, Tito's up, but get him over. We played that. So my goal, I didn't know the age gap. That's the thing. My goal was to play baseball with my father, my godfather. But I got to tell you this, it still worked out for me. And a lot of people don't know this. My family's been here since 58, since Willie. So I consider Willie my godfather family. Okay? Okay? Take this for consideration. So my dream came true. My father played right field for the San Francisco Giants. My godfather played center field for the San Francisco Giants. And I completed the circle and played right field for the San Francisco Giants. And that is the greatest gift in my whole entire life. That every time I had my uniform on and I looked to center field, my dream came true as a little boy. I want to play with Willie Mays. I want to play with my daddy. I got to play with their ghosts in the outfield because I had great center fielders with Darren Lewis, Andy Van Slyke, on and on. I had great center fielders, Kenny Lofton, I can go on and on with the center. And, I go back to college with Odie McDowell, stuff like that. But I completed the circle, like that Lion King circle of life, whatever it is. So I completed that. So my dream did come true. I got to play with my godfather and my dad. I just got to do it later on.
What about pitchers? Was there, and this can be any point in time, this can be 1987, this can be 2003. I wish this guy wasn't pitching today.
I could say that about a lot of pitchers. I mean, my generation of pitching is crazy. I mean, I can go from Clemens, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling. You know, I can go with all the power pitchers, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine. The one person I thought was going to be great, the Nasty Boys were nasty. Dibble, you know, all them. Jose, you know, I can go with the Cincinnati Reds. I can go with the Atlanta Braves. So instead of I don't name individuals the whole time. The out of all of them, the best technician pitcher, the best power pitcher for powers to me was, if I had to pick one, would be Randy, because he's left-handed to lefty,
Of course.
right? Lefty to lefty. But there's some great relievers. You know, I had great relievers that I went up against too. But the best technician pitcher to me was Greg Maddux. The best pitcher technician, because I'm not going to say it on TV because I kind of keep it. Is this TV? Is this live? This is live, right?
This is live.
I said on TV. Maddux knew things that I knew he knew about hitters, that I knew about pitchers. And so it became a chess match with him. And he understood physics in a way, because Maddux could hit. So he was a pretty good hitter. And Maddux understood things, and I was like, holy Toledo. Because Maddux couldn't throw that ball that hard. He's not, you know, you can almost catch it with your hand if you really wanted to sometimes. He was accurate to what he was doing, and he would run you into the ground impatiently. And he knew how to do that. And he stayed away from a lot of big innings. He learned that, you know, when Chicago, he wasn't like that. He picked that up as he went. And I know Smoltz knows it. Hi, Smoltz, if you see this. I know Glavine took off after him, because Glavine started understanding some things too as well that he could do with hitters. But to me, Greg Maddux was probably one of the best technicians that I've ever seen pitch.
Yeah, he was amazing, and I know I worked with him back in the late '90s, early 2000s. I know that he used to actually call his agent Scott Boras before the game, and he would like go over what he's going to do, like all the batters that are coming up, and what their tendencies are, and what's he going to do. And it was just like incredible. He was, and this is before there were analytics. They said they didn't have the computer stuff. They didn't say, you know, on-base percentage, OPS, WAR, all this stuff didn't exist. You know, and you know, and obviously, I guess the Dodgers probably wish analytics didn't exist in this year's postseason.
Yeah, but Kenny, analytics only works it's never going to work for the great hitters. They're going to hit their 40, drive in 100, 300. So what's the analytics do for that? Nothing. They're going to do what it does. I mean, you can place a guy in the right field, second baseman, third baseman over here going, he hits the ball 60% here, or 35% there, 80% over here. We'll place the man there. And against this pitcher, he does this, so we're going to block these. I get what the philosophy of it is, but try to tell Ozzie Smith to move from shortstop over to second base, and you're not going to have a happy guy. Baseball's made to be played, to me, the way it's supposed to be, in a situation played in the shortstop to shortstop, third base. If I'm going to go for a batting title, it's like I said, if you're not a home run hitter, you're not a consistent, strong home run hitter like a Mike Trout, you know, you're talking about the best of the best in the game of today. If you want that third baseman move, just bunt him back to third. You know, it takes a bad day and makes it a great day. So if you want him to move, bunt him back, put his butt back over there. And so people ask me all the time about the shift. I was at an age, I ain't bunting. I can't barely even run, let alone bunt at that time. You know what I mean? So I was.
Do us each a favor. Move your camera like a little bit towards the your right of the screen. This way, you're a little bit towards your face will show more from the comments. It started on the left. There you go. Like right
that way.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah. Good. This way, see you, and then the comments don't crowd it.
So I told the kids, you know, I tell the kids I work with, and some of the players I work with, they said, if you don't like the shift, and shift it back. You can do that if you want to. You know, you can shift them back. So I would have shipped them back. If I'm not going to hit 220 just to hit 220. Because in my era, if you didn't hit 300 almost, or you weren't in the big leagues, it just wasn't going to happen. So, you know, I always tell the guys, be a great hitter. Let the home runs come. Hit it through the wall. Don't try to chase the wall. Just hit it through the wall. You hit it through the wall, it'll go over the wall.
Oh, someone just mentioned to me that, I just lost you.
Uh-oh.
Hope you didn't get
Okay,
you're good. You're good.
That might be my internet. Mine's been going crazy because of the weather here.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say somebody said, I'm gonna try this for a second. No, okay. Somebody said, hit my head at the top if you want to not see the comments. So I don't know if that works or not, but yeah. So there you go. Let me talk about, again, baseball career for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that, you know, and I knew you throughout the entirety of your career, pretty much. The thing that amazed me is the fact that you know, when people were putting up big numbers, like when Sosa hit like 60 home runs, he had 166 strikeouts. In 2004, I think that's the right year, you had 45 home runs and 41 strikeouts. In 2001, you were seeing maybe one good pitch per at bat, or maybe one good pitch per game, and you were hitting every pitch like that. How did it feel walking into a game and saying, am I going to get, you know, you got you come back from Houston, you got 70 home runs, you know, you're hitting 65, 66, 67. How did it feel going in, and everyone's saying, you know, pitch to Barry, going into a game saying, am I going to get pitched to today? How do you prepare yourself for what's going to happen and hit the ball that's actually hittable? Because you hit balls that some people were not even remotely hittable.
Well, my dad told me, how many pitches do you need to hit? I said, one. He said, you better practice it. You know, so it was a lot of work, Kenny. It was a lot of preparation to be able to do that. And plus, I can sense if he's going to pitch to me or he's not going to pitch to me. And there's more to the game of baseball than just me hitting home runs. I wish it was that simple, but it's not that simple. I got to get on base. I get on base. I steal a base. You know, people sit there and say, what kind of, you know, if it's the media, they say I wasn't a great teammate. But I was probably one of the best teammates. I wasn't the most sociable one for hell no. I didn't like to talk to nobody because my focus was just different. You know, my preparation was just different. I didn't want to be bothered. Didn't want to talk. I want to rip your head off. That's just what I was at the ballpark. But there's more to that game than just that. And I was one of the best teammates. I could have swung at a lot of crap. But my teammate, I could get on first base, walk, steal second because I was stealing at steal bases. I stole 500 plus stolen bases, and I can get in a scoring position to help my teammate get a base hit and not have to work so hard. So when you look at the game aspects of the game on the field, I could have swung at a lot of 2-0 crud pitches or 3-0 pitches. They never stopped me. But the game doesn't dictate things like that. I'm not going to take a risk and then take the bat out of my teammate's hand to just chase a pitch. But like to answer your question, it was a lot of preparation. It's something I've never told anyone in the world, no hitter. Because if I tell you, Kenny, and everyone live here, then it helps the pitchers out. And I'm never going to help a pitcher out as long as I live. Now, if a hitter wants to come to me who's on this little screen live and you want me to show you what to do, I'll be happy to show you as long as you sign a confidentiality agreement. You're not going to tell anyone. But it was hours and hours and hours and hours of preparations, of repeats of some of the same things that I had to do over and over again to be able to handle it. Then there's other times I went down into the tunnel to just swing a bat in between because I wasn't hitting. So if I only took BP at 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and now they walked me 2 times, I haven't swung a bat in 2 hours. So I would run down into the tunnel in between innings and I'd have John Yendel or one of the guys, well, John Yendel most of the time, stay extra longer and throw BP to me so I can keep a rhythm, keep going, keep my mind focused. And that was it. It was just a ton of preparation, a ton of repeats, a ton of don't get too, I mean, standing in the outfield and freezing my butt off and then have to come in and hit that's not easy to do. And especially if I don't hit till the 6th inning, right? So I have to go down and run down to the tunnel, hit over, hit up the tee, do things, get near a heater, stay warm, run up and down. I had to do a lot of different things to play the game in my head. So I played the game in my head over and over again. So then when that situation came, I was still ready to hit. So basically, how do I say it? I took longer BP throughout the time of it to actually be prepared to attack that one pitch if I got it. And when I knew it, that could be the only time that I could get it. And I'm not going to miss it. I'm mechanically too sound to miss it. There's no way in hell. Took me too many years, too many repetitions to not to be mechanically sound.
That's fair. And every part of the game. I mean, how many Gold Gloves did you win?
I don't know. You the statistic, dude.
Yeah, no, I know.
I don't even have. You know what? I would love to show people my house. There's not even a baseball thing in my house except in one little room that I just have, some of my shirts and stuff up. But I don't keep my trophies. They're in storages, and that's where they stay. I don't look at that stuff. I appreciate it. I love it. My kids can do, whatever they're going to do with it and whatever, but I'm not, I want my home to be my home. I want my house to just be a normal house.
That's
if you look around, there's no trophies in the house. You'll see a Michael Jackson trophy, but that's because that's Michael Jackson.
I think I got more trophies in here. I think I got 2 Phillies World Series trophies in here. So
you got way more than I do. I mean, I have a couple of things, I think, but I don't know where they I know where they are, but they're not here. I got some jerseys that, for my things downstairs that I have in my little TV room, but I don't have anything up here. No, I want my house to be at home.
No.
Look at baseball trophies.
And people are like shocked you're doing this, and I want to tell a story because Barry may be the most misunderstood baseball player. We were at, I think it was in 2001 off season, so obviously height of awareness, 2001 or 2002. Now I'm trying to think, was it after the World Series or after the record breaker? So either 2001 or 2002 off season. We were at the Palms. We're staying there. We're all taking a vacation together, and we walk through the casino because you got to get to the casino, get to the car, and then Barry just sits down at the table, blackjack table, just sits down. The dealer goes and puts out a few $100s. The dealer says, "You realize you just sat at the $5 table," and the guy says, "Yeah, deal." And like somebody comes up and says, people like in shock. Not only Barry Bonds is there, but that he's not at a high limit room. He's not in some place with 3 security guards. Yeah, blocking him from getting in or anything. And somebody goes down and goes, "Do you mind if I sit here?" And Barry says, "It's a free country. Go sit." And we're in New Jersey, and we're in Runnymede, New Jersey, and we go to get pizza.
Yeah.
We go to the counter, and the guy's staring at Barry, the owner, and he's like, "Did these actually say you look like Barry Bonds?"
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I said, "Really? He must be handsome."
But Barry is cool. Barry is very, very, very cool. He is very down to earth. He is the opposite of stuffy. I can tell you, I am probably more stuffy than Barry is.
I'm not a gambler, so that's why I sat at the $5 table. My limit was only $500 that I was willing to go because I don't gamble.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not, everyone needs to know. When it came to the media, I was not the best, okay? I wasn't the best candidate. I just didn't appreciate the fact that, I don't need you all in my business all day. I want to just go to work. So, yeah, did I make some mistakes with the press? 100%. You know, I'm not perfect, but I'm just a baseball player. That's my thing. I'm not a politician. I wasn't trying to, you know, I was just a ball player, and that's all I wanted to do was entertain the people on that field. And I thought, you know, doing that, but maybe if I was a little bit nicer to them, I made a lot more money. But that was that was probably my dumbest thing I ever did in my life. Was like, dude, you're being a rebel out here. Just freaking, you know, there's some people that are like Magic Johnson that can smile and do all that. And then there's, you know, some of us aren't capable of doing that, you know, but we're not bad people because of that. It's just our character on the field. When I got on the baseball field, I wanted to rip your head off. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to be around anyone. I wanted to get my job done. I thought doing my work on the field is what makes the people happy. I didn't know that I was supposed to mingle with them at the same time and do that. But I wasn't really capable of doing both at the time. I wasn't really, my headspace wasn't really good at that time. Now I'm older, you know, my space good, because it's like, how do you handle all these people giving you standing ovations at the ballpark and doing this? I said, because I get to come when I want to now. And so when I leave my home, I know what to expect, and it's on my terms. And so I embrace that because it's on my terms. But at baseball, it was never on my terms. By the time I walked into the locker, before I could take my shirt off, there was reporters in my face going, how do you feel, da, 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 da. And I'm like, dude, get out of my face. I don't have time for this. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. It wasn't the fact that I didn't like them. It was the fact that you don't even give us, I can't even get undressed here. I mean, I need to focus. I got a game today. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't give a crap what's going on. You know, so it just, you know, I wish I was better at that as I look back. And then I also don't apologize for it, because I feel that you should have your space. That's why I love it now. COVID made them, they can't even go to the locker room. And it's like, these guys, it's a really nice environment in there. They can prepare, they can get their work in. I think they go to a media room and stuff like that. And I used to think that the whole time, and they would never do that. Never would ever do that. They said, no, they get to come in, do whatever. And I used to beg for I'll go to a media room. I just want to go to my locker and focus in and get massaged and do the things I need to do to prepare for the game, because my job is to win games, you know, or to play and to perform. My job is, these 40,000+ people are coming to watch us perform. I did feel happy if I was a tired person, or I did give it my all. You know, you know, there's days I couldn't run, no doubt. I had tight hamstrings. I mean, you know, from the press of what they said. But, you know, there's days you're going to be able to run. There's playing 160 days every single day. You're not going to be fast every day. You're not going to throw good every day. You're not going to that's just human body. You're going to have good days and bad days. But so I'm cool, because you know me, and the people that I hang out with around, they know me. The public only reads what they know about me, which unfortunately I wasn't the best with the press. So a lot of it, what they do get, and I understand their responses of he's a jerk or he's this, he's that, because they're only reading from a third party. And the press is powerful. They can make you believe whatever you want them to. They can make you believe a lot of crud, and it's okay. You know, I just washed my hands with that. I'm like, whatever, bro. I don't know you. You don't know me. You don't have to like me. I'm good. It's all good. It keeps my life peaceful. I can walk the streets and people don't really recognize me all the time. But, you know, so I do get that.
Right. If you're living in San Francisco, that's surprising.
I was raised here, right? I was raised here since a little boy. So the funny part about it is everyone who's at the top of San Francisco, I either went to school with or something. So, and I ride a bike in my neighborhood with anybody, and anybody who comes around and ride a bike, you can see me. They're like, Barry, hey Barry, how you doing? You know, so once you see a person all the time, the thrill is gone. You're like, oh, that's Barry.
I don't think the thrill is ever gone when people meet you. I don't. Let me see. So, what do you think about let's talk baseball cards for a minute.
Okay.
Obviously you were playing through, when I say junk wax here, do you know what I mean by junk wax?
No.
So what it means is back in the 80s and early 90s, trading card companies produced so many trading cards, so many millions of the same cards, they all became junk. Nothing ever really became, so they call it like a junk wax. So like your rookie card
Mm-hmm.
Your first card not in a traded set, 87 Topps, 87 Donruss, 87 Fleer, was what they called junk wax.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, you've got cards that they only make one of.
Mm-hmm.
They only make five of.
Mm-hmm.
They only make 25 of, or 50.
Right.
So when I sold the Mike Trout card for $3.9 million last year, and we talked about what did you think about a baseball card if somebody's still playing, selling for $3.9 million?
I wish I would have had that card. Now we ain't even friends because you did it and didn't tell me, and we've known each other 32 years, so I could at least got a little bit of that change. So
it was a consignment.
You're not as cool then, so you suck because you don't treat your friends like that, right? And I got a whole bunch of people that are going to agree with me on this little TikTok thing that's going up, going, yeah, but God bless the card and God bless Mike Trout. Times change, right? Baseball cards were nothing back when I was growing up, really. They were, you got the bubble gum, you threw it, I used baseball cards and stuff and made wallpaper out of it on my wall. Yep. My mom allowed me to put little stickies and that was my whole wallpaper of my bedroom. But my dad signed for $5,000. I made hundreds of millions of dollars. Yep. These guys are making twice as much as me. So what the values are going to go up. It's normal. It's fine. Yep. Just next time you get one, if you don't give it to me, I want the world to know. I'm going to kick your butt.
I will tell you what to buy, and I will buy it, and I will split it with you.
There you go. Fine.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't keep up with anything, so at least help me out.
I will. Oh man, crazy night. Let me just think. Everyone's going.
I like that. I love my Barry Bonds card, valuable or not.
Awesome. There you go.
See, it doesn't matter. I love my Godfather, valuable or not. I don't need anything.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. You do have one really, really good card. Well, you got a lot of really good cards. You obviously did not sign a lot. I think the first card you signed was actually probably for me for Classic, for my minor league set. And I remember that's when I made a card of your brother Bobby and put him in the set too. I did a flashback of you. And I put him in, and you signed your card. I think that's the first one. But you did not sign a lot of cards through your career or after your career. And I
don't really do it now that much.
I know you don't sign anything.
Well, and I got to be truthful and honest about why I didn't do it.
Yep.
Remember that statement I said, I love my Godfather for who he was.
Yep.
I didn't understand why people would sell you. Mm-hmm. When you have someone that comes over to me and says, oh, could I have your autograph? And this would be great. You're this. And I signed this autograph for him. And next minute, I'm looking at the same thing sold to somebody else. I'm like, I thought it meant something to you. And so I kind of took that personal, I think. That was the reason, like, you're coming to me screaming in front of a bunch of people to try and embarrass me, which doesn't work anyway. And I go out my way to do it for you because you're like, this is for my kid, this is da-da-da. And next minute you are selling my product that you came in front of all of these people and said it's for mine. It would be an honor if I get it. And I caught you selling it. And then I see you out there again asking me for the same autograph. And I'm like, no. And then other people happen to be around that didn't see me at that time going, you're a jerk. You have no idea what this guy just did to me. He has no sympathy when he came to me and asked me, it's for something, it would be an honor. And then you turn around and you sold me. That to me broke my heart. That is why I stopped signing stuff, because I didn't understand, or I didn't want to believe it was bad. And I just couldn't understand people would do that to you. You know what I mean? Like, it was just not good for me. It was something that I would never do to anyone else. I have a Michael Jackson sign thing and I cherish it forever. You know how much I could get for my Michael Jackson hats? Oh my God. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? It's like, if I go out of my way to ask you for something, I mean it. I'm not doing it just to sell you. Or at least if you're going to sell me, at least give me some of it so we can have it. I mean, that's what I would think, you know, and I'll be happy to. I'll be like, here, man, I'm going to sell this, you know, it's going to help my family out. I'm like, okay, cool, dude. You just give me 5% and I'll be cool with you.
I mean,
But,
you'd much, obviously, this is a before COVID statement because now nobody likes to get too close, but you'd rather somebody come up and say, hey, can I take a selfie with you than, hey, can you sign this? Because you know they're not going to sell their selfie.
yeah, that's way more important to me. And it's more personal for me.
Yep.
So anyone that's out there, you can take any picture of me at any time, as long as I don't look like crap or I'm, you know, don't take a picture of my ass or something like that. Don't do that. But I think that because it's more personal. It's like when you come up to me and you say, can I take a photo of you? We're kind of like engaging differently. And then that photo lasts with you forever. And then you can tell whatever story. Yeah, I was hanging out with Barry, you know, we were look, we got a picture of him. And I thought that was really cool, right? Because you could get a story behind it, right? You can make up whatever story you want, you know? And to me, that was just like, that made me feel way better than signing something. That is on a piece of paper that's going to fade someday or you could lose or was over. The picture thing for me is like, I'm more out to really take photos with you than ever signing anything.
Amazing. I mean, just people don't, unless you are.
As long as you have a mask because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
I never got it, so I'm trying to stay cool.
Exactly. Oh, man.
So you see, one dude says you sound sour. I'm like, sour? That's crazy. This is cool, though. You get to see all of this stuff. Some people say you're sour.
Everyone keeps asking about Griffey. Everyone keeps asking about Griffey Jr.
Mm-hmm. What about him? What do you want to know? Besides, he's one of the greatest baseball players ever to play. If Kenny didn't get as hurt as he did, he'd be the best player ever. Period.
Yep.
He had, to me, the best, most talent. Him and Vladimir Guerrero was really very super talented. He swung at everything, but he was super talented. I mean, he had a great arm. He could run fast, all that. You can see it in his son. But Kenny was special, 19 years old, being there with his dad, and a dream come true, and the amazing things they did. If Kenny just didn't get hurt as often as he did, there's no doubt who's the best baseball player that ever played a game of baseball.
Oh.
It was too easy for him, too easy. We might be close in competition, but he was younger, so he would win that because he would be playing longer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's just the bottom line to it. He would have more years than me playing.
You had better eyes, Barry.
No, well, maybe because I got to keep playing. Kenny was hurt, right? You know, because I work with a lot of players, and you know, and when you get the young ones, they always like, how do you do it, or how do you get there? I say, dude, just play long enough for someone to write a story. If you're there for long enough, someone will write a story. If you're there for 2 years, it's just a commercial. So play long enough in the game you don't even need me for that answer. All the greatest athletes, 20 years, 22 years, 18 years, 20 years, 19 years, whatever, in most sports. So just play long enough and someone will write a story about you because you got to be real good for longevity. Longevity is what is the story of where you're going to land in that field.
So when are you, do you think that you will be able to make it back to Jersey in the spring? You flying in?
For sure. Why can't I? I have nothing else to do.
Okay, good. No,
I'm just riding my bike and hanging out. So
okay, good. So we got to get you to come out to it's October. We do that. Well, what do your role with the Giants? That's something. So what is your current role with the Giants?
I am an assistant to the CEO. So
okay,
I basically smile, shake hands, go to any kind of meetings that they have or corporates, go to the luxury box, sit around. If the players want to say something to me, they do. If not, I keep my mouth shut and I stay in my box. You know, so anything they want me to do, I do pretty much. So
cool.
Anything the team needs, I do.
That is great. And you're happy to be part of the Giants as opposed to a different franchise.
static. I'm static to be there. You know, it's you know, it's what I wanted to be a San Francisco Giant my whole life. You know, I just had a detour to Pittsburgh, but I mean, this is my city. I love it. There's nothing that makes me any happier. So still being part of the organization, oh, for sure. And it's just different now. You know, when I was playing, like I said, I had a different attitude. I'm on my field. You can't tell me what to do. You can't even talk to me. I'm going to do now. I don't care. They tell me all kinds of stuff. I just move whenever they say move. They say go left, I go left. They say go right, I go right. It doesn't bother me anymore. You know, I don't know that part of the thing. But in baseball on the field, no, you can't come from upstairs and tell me what I'm doing down here. Like, but now I'm working upstairs. I don't know upstairs, so I just listen and do what I'm told.
Do you follow basketball?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Stephon Curry. Bam.
What do you think of my Sixers? What do you think of this Ben Simmons stuff?
Come on, man. I'm not going against my boys, dog. I don't care. Warriors are still going to be it, but the Sixers, they're going to be good. They're good.
Uh-huh. But
they're going to be real good.
The Ben Simmons holdout, demanding to be traded, and how players in basketball these days will do that and have such leverage.
You know what? If you're not happy, you have the rights, right? People in the real world can do it. Why do you magnify an athlete? If he's unhappy or if he feels he deserves what he did, why can't he be outspoken? You know, why is it so magnified with a celebrity when you got people in a normal world that make billions and millions just as much as athletes do at times and do the same thing? Or you have employees that say, you know what, I want a raise, I want this, but it's not on TV and it's not like that. So I don't agree the way the media portrays that, but I will always stand behind my fellow athletes.
Okay. That's
always.
Very safe position. That's good.
It's not just the truth. It's like,
okay.
You know, I ride and die. You know, that's our clubhouse. That's our locker room. That's that's us. And I'm not there with him every day, and I'm not in that organization, so I don't know what's really, truly going on. But for him to make a statement or stand by it, something has to be going on that he's not happy with, and I feel he has the right to say what he has to say, and I don't believe anyone needs to screw that into anything more than what it really is. You know, and that's it.
How do you think, if you were playing today in your prime, what do you think the opposing teams would do? With me? With you.
The same thing they did when I was playing. It's not going to change. I'm not going to. The difference between when I played, Kenny, had a lot of different style pitchers. You know, they're like, all these guys throw 100 miles an hour. Well, we had guys throw 100 miles. Rob Dibble threw 100 miles an hour, 104. I can now, you know, Gagne threw 100 miles an hour. There's a lot of guys 200 miles an hour. The thing about today's game, for me as a hitter, I would feel would be a lot easier. Only because everyone throws the same speed. So I don't have to adjust. See, we had finesse pitchers, then you have some guys that throw hard, you have this, so there's a lot of adapting in the pitching core. Now everyone's throwing 95 to whatever. I don't have to adjust as much. And a lot of them just want to pitch backwards. Okay, come on. Hitting counts, I'm going to throw a slider in the dirt. Okay, anyway. I mean, 3-2, I'm going to throw a slider. I mean, it's like I said, my calculations in my head, I'm sorry if I'm just rambling on about it, but I can calculate what they're doing already, and I don't even have to be up at the plate. I'm already seeing it consistently of what they're doing, and I'm going, that's not difficult to do. I would just take my arm guard off before he threw the pitch and just go like this, because that's going to be a slider or curveball.
People hit some of the questions. So what do you think of what Ohtani did this year with both the pitching and the hitting and how well he did it?
Oh, I don't think anyone's ever going to see that again, ever. No one's ever going to see a pitcher and as a pitcher hitter ever do that. I don't think I'll ever see it again. It was impressive, super impressive. To come back and pitch in 5 days, and then I just did a Japanese TV program about him. I just did interview with the Japan television about him, and they were asking. I said, I've heard stories about Babe Ruth pitching and doing it, but that's a whole different era. That's way, I didn't see Babe Ruth play. So I don't really know. I mean, back when Babe Ruth was playing, there were no errors. Ground rule doubles were considered home runs. So we can debate about a lot of things back then, but with Ohtani, it was just like, I don't think anyone's ever going to see 40 plus home runs out of a pitcher and then pitch the way he did. I think he'd be a great DH, which that's what he should do. Because they asked me like, what do you think he should do? I said, I wouldn't change anything. Let him pitch and hit until he gets too old, and he can move him wherever he wants to. But you can't take him out of the lineup as a hitter.
No, of course not.
And if he had Mike Trout every year, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because to me, Mike Trout's the best hitter in the game. I mean, he's got the 3-year plus MVPs, so you can't calculate. Miguel Cabrera is always going to be one of my all-time favorites too. That's my generation. Those are my kids. My boys.
Yeah.
So, he's always going to be number one till he retires and moves on in my heart because I played against him and I watched him play. But Trout is just sick. And it's unfortunate that he got hurt, but he's
it's unfortunate. He's lost. Unfortunately, between COVID and this season, he's lost a year and a half of his prime.
But he's sick. He ain't lost anything. So what? I missed all of 2005. So doesn't mean anything. He can come back.
He missed him pretty much the whole season between 94 and short 95.
Exactly. So that doesn't mean anything. That means nothing. Just one thing just got in the way. But I guarantee you, he's working his ass off right now. Guarantee.
Oh man. So I can go all night.
Like I said, I have nothing to do. Still got a good another 20 minutes before 8 o'clock, and then I'll shut it down. But this is the first time for me, Kenny. So I'm trying to open up and be, here. People know me, see me. It could be the last time they ever see me, right? I'm having a good time because I don't really do many interviews. I don't do too many shows. I don't do anything that stuff. I like my quiet life, and it's fine for me. So take advantage of whatever you want to take advantage of, because sometimes it could be the last for me. It depends on what mood I can get into.
So can I talk about the voting that's coming up?
You can talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about.
Okay. So this is your last year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame, at least by the writers.
Thanks for letting me know that. I'm not really following it, but go ahead.
Okay. What do you think?
What do I think's going to happen, or what do I think? How my thing is this: I don't win or anyway. This is a live shot, right? If I say one thing, whoever's writing this newspaper that's going to be on this IGM or whatever you call this, IGI, going to say Bonds said.
Yep.
And then if I avoid it, they're going to say Bonds whatever. So I can't win on that statement.
You'd love to get in, right?
I don't make any comments to that at all because I don't want a media person to run with a story that, because the headlines will just say Bonds said.
Okay.
Right?
Very fair.
So I'm gonna.
That's why I didn't bring it up, and that's why I asked you.
No, but it's okay, Kenny, because I'm open book. I don't really care.
Yep.
My thing is this, and I've said this many times to a lot of people. They gonna let them make their decision. I don't need to make a comment. I'm not gonna make a comment about it. Whatever they choose is just a decision they make. It can't. There's nothing you can run with. Bonds said, or Barry feels, or Barry thinks, or Barry this. I'm this. You guys figure it out. It's your world. Do your thing. I'm not getting into that battle. I'm so tired of it. Ken, I went through so much that that roller coaster ride of press and negativity. I'm exhausted. That's probably why I am so really enclosed and introverted, because I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm 57 years old. I'm not 20. I have a grandson. I just want to live and have a good time. I don't want to be in that mix anymore. I don't want to feel that negative vibes anymore in my life. I don't need it. And so whatever they write, it's their opinion, not a statement they can say Barry thinks or Barry said or that. And so when that day comes, you'll know the answer because they'll give it to you.
Rob Nen just joined us, and if you missed his scroll, he just said hi.
Oh, hi. I didn't even see. Well, I was talking to you, so I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Hey,
He'll say, "Yo, Rob, wave so Barry sees you."
how do you wave? Oh, what? Hey,
they can hit an emoji and wave.
oh,
So,
okay. Rob Ned. There it is. Ha, ha, there you go. That's my dog. He could pitch, boy. He could pitch.
yes, he was
And he could throw close to 100, if not 100.
Mhm.
So having the guys, and his ball moved crazy.
Yeah, if Doug Reeser is watching this show, I've been in the same fantasy baseball league for 22 years, if you can believe that. From the league started in 2000. I traded like half my team to Doug to get you. I had you on my team until 2007 for your last year, and I also had Rob as one of my keepers because we had relievers were very important. So yeah, I definitely know the importance of a great reliever who doesn't blow up his whip in ERA.
Yeah, Rob was good, really, really, really good, and he threw, and his ball moved like crazy.
Yeah, and how you doing, Dallas? Dallas Braden just joined us. That's the 209 mayor.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, hi. Everything's going up so fast, I can't even keep up with it.
So all you baseball players, DM me, tell me, hey, you want to join in sometime? I'm happy to do it. I met when I was with Barry. I said, hey, I know Barry watches. Look, you're on my Instagram. You comment to me, and
yeah, I do look at it and put the little heart button things. But I don't play with it as much as others. I watch you now. I mean, we're friends, so yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on you.
And I won't mention the network, but you're gonna come on an episode of my show, right?
I would do whatever. If it's fine, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay. Yes.
Why not? If you would, okay. I'm gonna come on your network, Kenny.
Yes.
Only if you give me back my jersey.
Oh.
How's that one for an answer? Because you need to let them know you have my jersey, you little snake, and you need to give it back. Well, you better be in your will of trust to give it back to my kids if something happens, because the world needs to know Kenny has my number 7 jersey, which belongs to me, which now you know why I got all my uniforms, because things were going out that the teams would give that we didn't get to keep.
Yep.
So, yeah, put you on the spot.
Yeah, the team, just so everyone understands, in case somebody interprets this, the team sold equipment back in 1986. Okay.
Thank you.
So Barry's jersey was sold. It traded hands by collectors. I ended up being probably about 7 years ago, making a cash and trade to buy it from my collection. Now Barry knows that I have it when he was made his major league debut back in 1986.
And I'm really truly not upset you have it. I'm glad you got it, that no one else got it.
You're happy if you're happy I have it as opposed to
for sure, because I know I'm going to get it back from my grandkid. But I am glad that you have it. So, because at least I can go see it. Because holy cow, it's like, wow, because that whole 007, it was really crazy. Because people, I was, it's kind of weird at that time, because it's like Bonds, they wanted to make that 007 James Bond thing, and I was like, nope, not gonna work. I was, they didn't understand. I had my godfather and my dad, so it was so important for me to have my own identity through this sport, baseball. And they were trying to compare me to so many different things that happened. I'm like, nope. So I got the tag of he's difficult, because I just wanted to be myself. I didn't want, if I was going to make it or do it, it was going to be because I did it, not because Willie, not because my dad. You know what I mean? So I wanted my own number. They're like, you wanted 24 like your godfather. I didn't want 24 because of Willie Mays. I was born July 24th, and I thought that 24 should be my lucky number because that's the year God gave me life. That was through my family and going to church and everything else. I was like, everyone's favorite number should be the year they were born, because that's the day God gave you life. So I was born July 24th. That's why I wore 24 my whole life. That's why I wanted 24. And Willie offered me 24 when I came to the Giants. And then Major League Baseball said, you cannot take a jersey out. But the media made it like it was all my doing. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't have anything to do with it. It was a gesture from my godfather to me in the love he had for me. And I was super honored to have it. And then when the whole mix-up came up, I said, I'll take my dad's number. I mean, I got both of them. I should have took 26 or 23. And then I would have been 24, 25, and 26. Because every time I go to the ballpark and I look at 25 up at the thing, because they retired my number, Kenny, only thing that comes to my mind is my father. It doesn't even seem as though that's my number. Because I get people like, what do you think when you look at that number? I said, that's my dad. He was the first. So when I see 24, 25, I think of Bobby and Willie. I don't even think of myself. So when I look up there, I say, damn, I should have had a different number, because then I would actually look at it. But when I look at the thing when it says 756 on the side, then I know that's me. So I give my dad the 25 because that's great. It's a retired number that my dad wore, and it's his. And then I'll take the 756 sign in the center field. So that's mine. And my dad and Willie are up at the top. And then I'm over there in center field. So that's cool.
Did you, I should know this, but when you played Little League, right?
Yeah, I played,
Every
I played every sport.
What position did you play in Little League?
Center field, first base, pitcher, shortstop, catch. No, I didn't play catcher. I did in Babe Ruth once because I wanted to see what it was like. I played shortstop most of the time. I played center field because I could run faster than all the other kids, so they wanted the fastest kid in center field so he can run and catch all the balls. I played shortstop a lot and first base and pitcher. I was pitcher a lot too. So those are the main positions. So you always want your best catcher to catch the ball at first base because when the kids throw it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I tell Paul. Yep.
And I was left-handed, but I was also left-handed shortstop.
When did you give up pitching?
When I
Little
realized,
League?
yeah, I pitched through Babe Ruth. I did pitch through Babe Ruth, but I didn't like it. It wasn't something I loved to do. It was just something that, I could do at the time. But there was way better pitchers than me, teammates that were better than me. I wanted to just run and catch the baseball and hit home runs. That's it. Run, catch, hit home runs, steal bases. I wanted to be Willie. So I started off in center field because that's what I wanted to play, that position. But I didn't have a strong enough arm. I wasn't like the best thrower. I was just super quick and I can release the ball because you don't have to have a great arm in the outfield. You just have to get to it quick and release it fast. And once you release it, by the time that guy hits first base, the illusion of that ball coming in, I could lob it and it's going to freeze him. Because if he turns his head and he sees the ball, he doesn't really technically know how fast it's coming. So I didn't have to really have a great arm in left field. I just had to learn how to do it, release it fast. And Bill Verdon taught me how to do that.
Wow. This is good. I learn something new every day too. I mean, this is amazing. What do you watch? Obviously, you watch the Giants. What besides Trout? Besides Trout and Ohtani, both of you touched on. What guys do you like to watch that are active playing today?
Active players today?
Active players today.
Not many. I watch the Giants.
Okay.
I like Guerrero. Because I played with his father.
Yep.
I'm not really into the antics on the field as much as I don't enjoy it as much as before. It seems like when I played, you didn't fraternize so much with your opponents. We fraternize after the game, or we can talk whatever after the game, or we can go to dinner and da-da-da. But during the game, it just seems like everyone's sensitive and too friendly. Like your opponent is your friend. And even if Kenny Jr. and I were best of friends, if we got on the field, we'd both try to kill each other and then tape each other up after the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that. I just, it's more of, don't hurt anyone's feelings. And it's kind of difficult for me to watch someone.
They don't have the killer competition.
Yeah, it's just different. I mean, the antics that they do on the field, you wouldn't even survive in my era. You'd be crushed and fast. That wouldn't go too well. The veteran players, yes, you can get away with it to a point. I did it, a little bit. I could watch my home runs here and there. You can watch it, and I quoted that. But all this, whatever they're doing out there, and all that, all the time, I don't know. And the game has changed. The guys, I just call it batting practice because that's all it is. Because pitchers don't hit anyone. And if you do, you're going to get suspended and lose pay. So if I was a pitcher, why am I going to do that? That doesn't make any sense because you're going to suspend me 5 games and then I'm going to hurt my team from not being able to pitch. And then they're going to take money out of my pocket. And me defending my teammate isn't really going to do me any good because my teammate's not going to give me the money I'm going to lose. And I got to take care of my family, right? So today, baseball to me is just batting practice. And if you're going to let me just go up there and just have batting practice and you're never going to buzz me, I was always uncomfortable but comfortable, at the plate, always. Always had to respect my opponent, no matter who it was, because you can get hit anytime. I got hit even all the way in my 40s,
Yeah, you had all body armor just because you
the body armor isn't because I needed it. The body armor was because, I did need it, is because John Wetman broke my elbow. And I have a lump here still to this day. Mm-hmm. That I am one of the few people in this world who doesn't really grow scar tissue. I grow a bone. And I can, I'm not going to show you all my surgeries for my hip and the things my body wants to grow another bone. Mm-hmm. And so when he broke it, when he chipped it, I didn't have scar tissue because this, if you feel like right here, you can feel a little lump. Well, here, I don't have a lump. That's a bone that sticks out. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I had to put an arm guard there because if I got hit there and it broke, it would ruin my career. So the arm guard was protecting my career for me not to not get hit there and end my career. It wasn't that I needed an arm guard to protect myself. Dude, you ain't throwing no baseball hard enough to hit me once to where I'm going to worry about any damn thing. Right? I mean, I wasn't intimidated by that. That didn't bother me because I was used to that throughout my career. It was welcome to the big leagues. Wow! I got hit. Brim Smith. I got hit in Montreal by Brim Smith in Montreal. Hit a ball center field. And when you're a young player, you run as hard as you can around the bases. And I heard him, so you better run. And I was flying around the bases. Came into the dugout. I sat in the dugout like this. And Bobby Bo came up to me and he says, BB, don't do anything on what's going to happen next. And I didn't even understand what he was saying. I was like, okay, whatever. Got up to the plate, first ball, pow! And I knew exactly what happened. And you knew what to do then. It was like, boom, you hit a home run, welcome to the major leagues, right? Kid, don't get cocky. Don't worry. You go down to first base, and Brim went like this. Because I just went down to first place. I didn't react. I didn't do anything. He went like this. Game was over. We both had respect for each other. Do you see what I mean? So you had to take it sometimes in a certain situations or at times to gain respect. And then once I hit the home runs and I did what I was doing, you aren't allowed to hit me anymore. Because if you hit me, then we're going to hit everyone on your team. Because I now am the protector of the run scoring production of my team. So when that happens, I gain that respect to where that's a no-no, bro. And plus, people knew I would fight, too. There was another issue they had. There was going to be a problem. But to me, it never bothered me. If you hit me, to me, your brain, I've taken you out of what you're going to do anyway. So all you did was allow me to steal second base, third base, and really bury you. Because now I get to play with you. Right? Now you piss me off, and now I get to play with you. And so that was the kind of game. And I would entice you to hit me sometimes. Go for it. They're like, he's so cocky, walks up so slow, he does this. I wanted you to drill me. Because the once you hit me once, you can't hit me twice. And I get 3 more at bats, you're going to lose. So I had to see, my brain was always calculating the situation or math or problems going, that's how it was. But today it's just batting practice,
I mean, I can't remember a time you ever charged a mound after getting hit, did you?
I only charged the mound to Batalico in Philly.
Okay.
I charged the mound. I think that was the only time, or maybe one other time my whole career. And I knew he was gonna. It was the weirdest feeling on the planet. And we became friends after. It was like after. But I just got up there in Philadelphia. I went to say, that son of a so and so is gonna hit me. And I went just like this. I said, if he hits me, and he threw it, and it boom, and I just reacted, bam.
Mm-hmm.
And we were both on the bottom. He was underneath me, so that was a good thing. But I don't encourage anyone to be on the bottom of the pile, because both of us were freaking dying with 25 people. I was like, you guys got to get off. I can't breathe. So at least he was underneath me, because it's not a good feeling. But sometimes you got to go out there and prove a point that, hey, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wins a fight, right? It's not.
Yep. And what was the suspension back then?
Yeah, we didn't get suspended back then.
Ooh,
you didn't get suspended when that happened. We policed ourselves, and you knew it was coming, and so the managers knew. Okay, did something wrong, you would get your manager say something. You guys, that's not how you do it out here. Don't get your teammate killed. You know what I mean? Oh, your teammate would be pissed. So if I went out and did something stupid, the guy, my teammate's gonna be like, dude, what the hell are you doing? You're gonna get me freaking killed, because the guy behind me is gonna get hit.
Mm-hmm.
They may not hit me, but they're gonna hit my teammate. My teammate's like, yo, what the hell? Now you got dissension in your team, right? So you got to be careful what you do to not hurt your team, right? Back in our time, so you always had to do. That's why I love the Giants organization. They don't really showboat so much. You get your moments a little bit here and there, but it's not a whole team thing, And I'm okay with the showboats. Don't get me wrong, because I had my own show. Ricky Henderson had his show. We had the taps. We did all that stuff, which is fine. But we waited till we got to a certain point of our career to then become the show. Same thing like, Stephon Curry. Now he's the show. No one, he can put it on any way he wants to. LeBron James, put it on any way you want to. You know what I mean? They've earned that right to do that. They're, everyone's coming to see them. So, I want to see the show. But, the 2-year player that's coming up, or the call-up guy that's hits a home run and he's doing all that, dude, you'd be in the hospital in my generation and fast. Not only by that other pitcher, but by your teammate.
Yep.
Because your teammates are going to think, what the hell are you doing, dude? You're going to get us killed. So, and I wouldn't want Randy Johnson up at the pitcher's mound and somebody's doing all this stuff, and next minute that dude headhunts me. Are you freaking crazy? But the one thing I got to say about Randy Johnson, he was never like that. Randy Johnson, I don't think Randy ever, he may have done it to protect his team, but Randy Johnson was all, I'm going to go at you, no matter what. I don't need to hit you, because Randy was so big he could hit you in 2 seconds. So I don't need to hit you. Randy already intimidated you by his stride. When he stride, it looked like it was right here.
Speaking about someone who would intimidate you, now this obviously would have been the very, very, very tail end of his career. What about Nolan Ryan?
Nolan Ryan scared the hell out of me.
There you go.
There was only one pitcher on the planet, but I was a rookie then, right? I struck out 3 times against him in spring training. Or 2 times, because I don't know if he pitched the last time, but I struck out 3 times. I recall it was him. In Bradenton, he came to pitch, and I think that he didn't pitch that often, but when he did, he pitched for a lot of innings. So he came in to get his work in. My legs were shaking. Yeah, Nolan Ryan was the one, because he played against my dad, right? It was like, this is Nolan Ryan, and I'm up here. I was shaking like crazy, and he kicked my butt when I played against him in Houston. So, hey, that was one pitcher that kicked my butt. But the other pitcher kicked my butt, you wouldn't even know the name, was Mike Bilecki.
Oh, Mike Bilecki? Of course I know.
Mike Bilecki could only throw a ball as straight as an arrow, couldn't do anything, and that dude would get me out. Like, I never could believe how I could not hit that dude.
Ooh, I thought somebody else really good. Again, when you were younger, and it might have been whatever. What about J.R. Richard?
Yeah, but that was gas, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like John Candelaria and all those guys when I was coming. Lee Smith. I mean, I could go to a lot of those players that I got to face. I mean, Mike Scott was nasty.
Yes.
You know, Mike Scott was nasty. You know, Jesse Orozco bothered me a lot. You know, he was I finally got home runs off him, but I told him I was going to hit him. He owned me. But anyone who really got me was more of a lefty pitcher, you know, through my younger careers. You know, but, you know, I always try to say this. I thought Steve Avery would be like one of the most dominant. When he first came in, it's like
And he won. It's unbelievable.
I was blown away by him. I don't know what happened. I think he got hurt or some other stuff, but he was, I thought he was going to be that big dominating. But, you know, you had Jose Rijos. I can go on. Rob Dibble. I mean, Dibble looked crazy, but Dibble was one of the nicest players. I mean, Randy Myers is one of the coolest dudes out there. But when they got on the field, they were nasty. And Dibble would crush it.
Did you read that? Did you read that?
No, I don't read anything. But if he respected you and you gave him that respect, he's not going to back down, but he would never come at you to encourage, but he's going to throw that 102-mile-an-hour pitch at you. And he's going to buzz you a little bit to wake you up. But he loves the challenge. Like Rob Dibble, Myers, they love that challenge, you know, that fight in there. And so, you know, I was never going to back down. So we earned each other's respect, right? If you're going to hit me, we're going to fight. If we're not going to fight, let's not fight, but let's respect each other. But those boys were freaking nasty. I mean, Norm Charlton, that was probably the best bullpen I thought at that time. I mean, but the Mets had a great bullpen too. You know, when you had Doc Gooden, I mean, Doc was the bomb. You know, you know, so you had him and Sid Fernandez and you know that whole crew and David Cohn and all that. That was cool. And then you can go with the Yankees with Clemens and. I mean, I didn't have an opportunity to play against them but once. You know, that one series I ever played against Yankees, which was a great highlight of my life. Which was got to go to Yankee Stadium and play and perform. But yeah, Martin Rivera, he just ate me. That was funny. I said, this dude cannot snatch me like everybody else, and he got me. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I was like, I'm going to hit him into next week if he tries to throw me that little cutter. And I could not believe how fast that thing cut on him.
God.
Yeah, but I didn't have time. I didn't have enough time to master him.
Jonathan Sanchez joined us and said that you did not want to face him in spring training.
I didn't like to face anyone in spring training. I didn't really want to be in spring training. I didn't even want to I trained so hard during the off season that spring training was just a fine tune for me. So I didn't want to give up too many swings or too much during spring training, only because I want to nail you during the season. So spring training, yeah, they can, you know. To me, I'll tell you about hitting because there's a lot of positive things in hitting. My job is just to make contact off the pitcher, right? In theory, that's the physics of baseball. I get up there, I square up the ball, I make contact, okay? And it's me against this pitcher. Unfortunately, the pitcher has goons that protect him. So when you hit a ball, and I tell these kids all the time, if you make great contact and your form is perfect, the pitcher's already out of the equation. He lost. He was saved by his goons. So don't focus on his goons more than you need to focus with him. And just keep making great contact, and eventually you'll clear out his goons. You see what I'm saying? So when I grounded out, you never saw me hardly ever throw my helmet or act crazy or so-and-so or hit the ball into the ship because the ball was inside. I hit it perfect. He's out of the equation. But even though the pitcher's going, I got you out. Unless you strike me out, son, you were already out of that equation. Because in theory, with baseball, boom, you are out. You threw batting practice, you're gone. Your goons got me. But I don't want to chase your goons because if I lose focus on you and I focus more on them, then you're going to beat me in your equation. So there's more positive things in a swing and a bat than negative. Just don't strike out, and the pitcher never wins.
Everyone's been asking all night about you versus Eric Gagne.
Oh, that's that's a crazy story because Eric Gagne and I we were teammates in Japan. We were on this. I said, Eric, you're the greatest freaking, right now, you're the best of the best closers. No, I mean, no one. I said, you get more than 3 or 4 runs. Challenge me. Let's go one-on-one. And he goes, bet. And when you make a bet in baseball, you got to live up to it. And he didn't live up to it on one pitch, that curveball, that backdoor curveball he threw me. And I looked at him going, are we on this deal? Are we not on this deal, right? So he when he threw that ball, he got 0-2 on me quick. Because he threw one ball inside that came back, and I thought he broke my rib cage. Because that ball, I didn't even think that ball was going to go back over the plate like he did. And I thought he was going to break my rib cage. Because that guy threw 104 miles an hour. I mean, that was crazy. And then once I saw that pitch and everything else, that switch came on in my brain. And I said, he's already gave me his kitchen sink, and I've already seen it. Now we got a game to play. And so he threw that backdoor curveball. I was pretty pissed off at him when he threw it, but thank God the umpire called it for a ball, and it was off the plate, you know. So, but it was a great curveball, and I won the deal. And I told him, if you beat me, you name it. If I get you, I get to name it, you know. And I named it. I didn't make a true name. We just said it as a thing. You name it.
Oh.
So we got into the count, and it just happened. That dude threw hard, but I don't care how hard you throw it, 60 feet, 6 inches. You can throw it 200 miles an hour. You're not going to bother me at all. And you can't, because there's a catcher, and when I teach the kids, I go, remember something. There's a catcher behind home plate that has a glove on his hand. And that guy throws 100 miles an hour, and that catcher catches it every time as though it's nothing. All I did was change the object to a bat, catch it. All I did was switch the object. Because if he was in and I had a glove in my hand, I would just go like this and catch it and throw it back to him. All I did was just change the object. Now the object's changed, I'm just going to catch it. I don't need to stride. I don't need to move. I don't need to do anything. All I need to do is just see it. Pop! There it goes. That's it.
Amazing.
You just play catch with different objects, right? If you got something, you just play catch. Why are you so comfortable with the glove? Like I tell kids, you get a glove and you're like, over here, boom, you're catching it behind your back because you became one with this. You feel comfortable with this. Well, now we got to switch the object and teach you how to be comfortable with this. And that's what my dad taught me. What's the difference? Play catch with this the same way you do with your glove. Learn how to do both. Like I said, I have a lot of different techniques that I've done over and over and over. I mean, I stood in, this is crazy. I stood in front of a pitching machine with tennis balls, trying to not get hit or protect myself with a bat. So that I figured out how to protect myself as I was getting drilled with tennis ball to just do stupid things like that to try to become one with a bat. I think all kind of stupid things. I don't know if it really works, but it did for me.
Crazy. No, these are things that I never knew you did. I mean, it's great.
Because you were busy doing your
thing. I didn't know it. Nobody knew it.
No, if you didn't know it, no one knew it. But you were busy doing other things. You were creating, value in the companies that, you were doing. And we were friends, and we were working together, and we were doing things together, and we've always kept a close place. And I was out here doing my thing. So I'm going to educate you on my life, too, at the same time, as you're educating me more on yours.
Terrific.
Anything else? You keep on going, bro. Like I said.
I might have to take a bathroom break if I keep on going.
I think people are bored, and they might be like, hey, can you get off this now?
No, I don't think. Does anyone want us to end this?
Yeah, I think I have about 15 more minutes I can go. If you want to. If you don't need to, then I gotta get off at 15.
Okay.
Because I haven't even eaten, so I just been here with you, so I'd like to make something to eat.
You watch? I'm actually. I don't have my TV on. I have no idea what's going on with these various games. You watching the baseball game?
Oh, for sure. I've been watching all. I watch them. I mean, now the Giants are out. I'm just rooting for Dusty.
Okay.
I'm praying so hard he wins the World Series. He deserves it. As a matter of fact, I just talked to Darren, his son, this afternoon. But I'm just Dusty is a hell of a manager.
Yep.
Sorry, excuse me, hell of a manager. And I pray he wins.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm almost talked out. This is.
Oh, that's a first for you, Kenny. I beat you. That's awesome.
So somebody's asking what memorabilia. I know what memorabilia he has. All the big moments. You know, he unlike a lot of these other players. Barry has all of his awards. Mm-hmm. He's never done anything with a single award. He might not display them now. He used to, but he might not display them now. But so, do the Giants have 762 and 756, or you have them? Do they have them in a suite, or they never? What
if you want me to show the world, I could walk you down my stairs, and I'll show you exactly what wall it's on.
It's up to you. I'm sure people would.
Okay, if the people don't care.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna keep my house semi-private.
That's fine.
Semi.
I think people love it when I show things in my house, and your house is going to be a little
well,
bit
you know, my house, I mean, there's only pictures of my kids and things like that. I don't like see there's pictures of just my kids and a kimono from Japan. And if you go down this hallway, you see nothing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have any of that stuff. But I'll go downstairs and I'll show the world.
Okay.
Okay, just for you, Kenny.
Thank you.
Okay, so how do I switch this thing around?
And I don't know if Ross Hoffman is watching or not, but Ross basically figured out anybody who calls me Kenny means that they've known me over 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so do I switch it this? Okay, so there is my hat. That's a game issued ball. It's not the actual 762. There's my 762 shoes that I wore. There's my jersey that I wore. Those are my batting gloves that I wore. Those are my wristbands that I wore. And then that's my bat that I hit the home run with. So all of this stuff is here. And it all has the MLB stamps of authenticity, which they didn't do for my whole career. They just did that. So this one here is, dang, I can't even see anymore. God bless me. This is my 73rd home run, which those are my shoes that I wore for 73, the year I hit 73 home. What year was that? Whatever. See, I don't even remember. There's my hat I wore. There's my glove. There's my helmet. There's my batting gloves. There's my pants. And there's my bat and wristbands. That's the whole uniform I wore. This is the whole uniform I wore. Coming over here, so as you guys can see, these are my other ones. I don't really have, these are the only things I have up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the other ones I have are put away. This one is 600. So Kenny, quit taking notes because I know that I know you too well.
No,
I know you.
I'm looking. I had somebody scheduled after this.
It doesn't matter. You guys can take all the notes you want. So there's 600. There's the whole thing. I'm not going to show you anymore because Kenny's taking notes. No, I don't care. You guys can all see it. This one is 700. And like I say, it's the whole thing. Shoes, helmets, everything. And then this last one is 714, looks like. And there's a ball, helmet. I mean, not the helmet, but the gloves, uniforms. And that's all the information I'm giving you, Kenny, because you take too many notes on things.
I don't have.
But my favorite picture in the whole wide world is this painting. Okay? This is my favorite painting in the whole wide world. And everyone's going to go, oh, God, Barry, you got a painting of yourself and you love it. It's because the owner, Harmon Burns, who passed away, owned the team at the time. He presented this to me, which is great. So if you look at the picture, which you're not going to be able to see because I'm going to get too close to it, there's a highlight of Willie Mays right there in the painting. It's like you can see his helmet like you have to like really look. But Willie's face is like right through here. Then like you can see me. Here's a picture of my son. You see it's a little helmet right through here. There's a helmet.
That I can see, yeah.
Okay, that's my son, and my father's face. My father's face is right here.
Yeah.
So that's my father, and then Willie is embroidered because there's his helmet. You can see his helmet now, right there. And then that is just, so it has my son as my bat boy, my father, and Willie. So that's why it's my favorite photo.
Tremendous.
And other than that, there's no other pictures in my house. Nothing that has to do with baseball outside of my kids and paintings or whatever it is. So the world's got to see it. Those are the only things I have in my house. Yes, they're very insured. Yes. So I don't have to worry about them or anything like that. But all my other stuff is actually stored away.
Yep.
I don't want it. 660 was because of my godfather. Oops, sorry. Am I back?
Yep.
There.
You're back. You're back.
Okay, so there. You saw it. The world saw it. Hope you liked the show. What else you want to talk about, Kenny? There's nothing else I have. Michael Jackson's what I have. Piano. Some electric guitars. Regular guitars. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Cool. What would you like to have?
What would I like to have?
Yes.
Like the most, like what I would want to have, like in what do you mean by what I want to have?
Well, like if you were able, and I'm not talking like Jackie Robinson, like if I was able to get you a cool piece, a cool piece that didn't cost $1 million.
Right.
What would that piece be? You say, oh, wow, I'd love to display that.
Your friendship.
Oh.
How's that?
I mean,
I don't want material, bro. I just don't. I don't care for that stuff. I don't collect none of that stuff. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Just just friendship is cool. Yep. It's priceless. You can't buy it, bro. You just can't buy that stuff. Mm. So I don't care about the other stuff. I've done well in my life. So, I mean, what do I need, right? I mean, if I have one thing, I'd probably say, let me just go back in time a little bit, and then I could make $300-400 million in baseball. But that's about it. But my time came and it went, and I'm proud of my time, and it's gone, and I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Barry, this was amazing. This was amazing. I'm glad you did it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. And we will definitely have to do it again.
Yeah, I mean, you know me better than anyone, and probably you're the only one in the world that I've ever done this or opened up to, because we're friends. And I respect you, Kenny, and we've gone a long way together, and I know for a fact that this is good for you, great for finally gets me out. I don't know if I'll ever do it again like this, but I mean, at least I got it out once. Whoever media or press want to run with it, run the hell with it all you can. I also want to thank people like all my cycling friends and, that have got me into cycling and stuff like that. I love them to death. They've, in my second life, I got to thank my friends and the people that I've met in the overlanding world now that have really embraced me and stuff like that. There's a lot of different things that I do now, and business partners and business friends and stuff that I didn't have time for. I just want to let them know I really do appreciate you, a lot. I'm not an overly talkative person except now because I'm on this show. I'm very to myself type of person. But I do appreciate this second phase of my life. It's a lot more peaceful. It's a lot more fun. Not taking that baseball wasn't fun for me. I really, really loved my job. And, I wish I could have played one more year. That was my big thing. I wish I could have played 2008 I didn't think it should have ended the way that it ended. And I will always stick with that. I don't agree the way that it ended. I didn't get people consider say whatever. I didn't get any tour or anyone said anything. They just kicked me to the curb, which was fine. Don't worry about it. Don't let the press go out there and say Bonds said he got kicked to the curb, because that's probably going to be the headlines now. So you guys all hear it from me. I'm not sensitive about it. I don't care. It's over with. Certain things that I wish I had an opportunity to do. I wanted to teach the next guy that's coming in the way to, kind of have that kind of bond the thing, but I couldn't play anymore every day. Also, there was no way. I wasn't playing the day games anymore. The night games, the day games were just too hard on my body. I couldn't do it. So I was also I felt like I was, I just wanted to just say goodbye in a different way, just at different terms. But, it's all come full circle for me now. So I'm really happy with that. So I'm really thankful and graceful. The fans here love me. The people here love me. So it's all come full circle. And, they appreciate what I've done throughout my career. So, it did end well for me. So it was great. You wish you could have other things, but it also ended great for me. So the people here that I played for in San Francisco and my friends that I grew up with appreciate me like crazy. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, like crazy. So it ended great for me. So I wanted to clear that up, because they sat there and, press says some kind of crazy stuff though. But, I appreciate them now. I didn't do it then. I just didn't know better. But now I'm like, God bless you, bro. Say whatever you want. I don't care. You're going to get all these opinions. I got all these opinions. Ain't nobody going to love me. Then everybody loved Jesus. So whoopee doo. Hey, who cares? So.
Well, listen, I appreciate this. I'm going to let you go. And as a tradition on my live is I'm going to go grab Chloe before Jen calls me and tells me to walk the dog before she goes to sleep.
Right.
So listen, have a great night.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Everybody watching really appreciates it. Have a good dinner, and I'm going to take care of my family business, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
No worries, brother. Next interview, 10 minutes, please.
That's you. I figured you were going to tell me it's time to go, and you just keep going and going and going.
No.
So, there you go.
Bro, I'm in it to win it. You're good.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take care, bud.
Thanks. Bye.
All right.